Heyo.
Hi, y'all.
Beautiful sunny day.
Yes.
Pardon our squints.
Right. But we wanted to be outside because we are getting some nice weather. And we're all smiles while we talk to you guys about weak language. Language is not as impactful and therefore is not the best for communicating.
Also, last week we talked about but and how it negates anything that comes before it. That video didn't make it to Instagram because we made a little bit of an error recording, but please go check it out on Facebook because it's a great 10-minute kind of start to our weak language series. So
here's part 2.
Yeah, we're going to talk about just, how we use the word just. We mentioned that especially women tend to learn this behavior of like using weak language and lessening the impact of our words. One of the places we talk about it is in like career, when we talk about our career. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things I've heard a lot of people say is like, oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Girl, no. No, that job is important and huge. And one, thank you for all of you.
Right.
Because you're literally shaping our youth, and that's important. There's no discounting that, which is exactly what just does. Anything that kind of comes after just, you've discounted its value, you've lessened its impact. So.
Right. Or that's the goal anyway, right? Like when we say this is just $3, it's because we want you to think, oh, that's not that much. It's $3.
Right. So there's time and place it works, sales, but not in discounting like your worth, your identity.
Yeah, and that's where we have to be careful about our language and whether or not it's impactful and empowering to us and to others. And saying something like, I'm just a stay-at-home mom is not empowering. You are a stay-at-home mom. You take care of your babies. You are, instrumental in producing citizens that will be productive when they grow up.
Yeah, that's a
become adults.
Pretty boss move. I'd say.
And that's how you should speak about it, confidently and feeling empowered, instead of discounting it as something that's not that big a deal.
We also talked about how if maybe you have a career path that is deemed or perceived as superior to other people you might be talking to, you might discount what you do instead of standing in that and owning it because you don't want to make others uncomfortable. So like, oh yeah, I'm just a small business owner versus like, I own and operate 2 businesses.
Right.
It's a very different delivery.
Or, if you have a seat at the table, right? If you work for a corporation or something and you're in a business meeting and you say something like, I just wanted to add, I just want to, make this note, I just want to make sure that I mention this. You are discounting your voice and like what you're saying and its importance. And you're already at the table. You are already invited to share your opinion, to interject, to make known what's important, for the record. So there's no need to discount your role.
Or kind of, and it's almost like a form of apologizing for taking up space, right? Like, if I could just get a minute of your time, not just, can I get a minute of your time because I'm worth it?
Right.
I deserve it. I'm gonna add to that and say, versus I just want to add.
Right.
It's just such a way of like softening and couching what we're saying, and we are often taught to do that because we're gonna be better received or people might hear us better. The truth is they don't hear you better.
Right.
They instantly assume that whatever you're saying following is not as important as somebody that didn't use the word just in the same way.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a reflection on your own sense of self-worth. Again, if you are discounting something that you're saying, if you're discounting your voice, if you're discounting your opinion or your role, or your desires, when we talk about relationships, if you're like, I just want, like if you speak impactfully and just, speak to exactly what you want, exactly what needs to be said, that reflects your confidence in what you're saying and your confidence in your right to say it.
Yeah, and also add this: when we do that in a like in relationships, if you maybe want to tell your truth to somebody, your partner or whatever, boss, and we say like, well, I just kind of felt I was just annoyed because of this. no, you were annoyed, and you are allowed to be, and those feelings are valid.
Right.
And saying just to make them less uncomfortable or let those words land less harshly is you trying to protect them from your truth, and that's not your job, and you're enabling them to not deal with your truth, and you're also not allowing them to reach their full potential to stand for you and
Right.
support you, and they want and can do that.
Yeah,
right?
and to adjust, to accommodate you in whatever the situation is. I think it also could be something positive that's being said. So
yeah.
I thought about Stevie Wonder,
Oh yeah.
his song, I Just Called to Say I Love You. And that's still discounting what he's saying. Now, we find it endearing and,
Right.
you know, like that's the intention behind it. But if you have feelings for someone, you don't want to discount that.
Yeah.
If you say something like, you know, oh, I was just in the neighborhood. No, I intentionally came over here to see you.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Even if you were in the neighborhood, I was in the neighborhood, so here I am.
Right.
Versus
So
I
wanted
was
to
just
see
in the
you.
neighborhood, so I thought maybe I'd stop by.
No big deal. My feelings about you, or you know, my effort to come see you, or whatever you want to call it, not a huge deal.
I mean, think about receiving that phone call, hearing, I just called to say I love you, versus I called to tell you I love you.
Right.
What?
Right.
Yes,
I
please call me more often and do
I
that.
stopped what I was doing
Yeah.
to pick up the phone and call you
Because
and
I didn't-
let you know that I love you.
I didn't just do anything.
Right.
I'm meant to do that. I did that on purpose.
Right.
I did it as a gift. It's valuable. It's big.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we want you to start to, we want everybody to
Right.
start eliminating just and speaking from that place where it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Say what it is.
It's fully what it is. It doesn't have to be kind of what it is, or
Yeah.
it's just all the way what it is, and let people deal with all of what it is.
Right. And
They are
be
capable.
and be empowered in that. Be confident about what you're saying to to whoever you're speaking to. Be confident about the choices that you made. You chose to be a stay-at-home mom, or if those are the circumstances that you find yourself in, that is something to be proud of. And if you're gonna speak about it, you should speak in an empowered way.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things that's important about it is, especially for us as women, we empower other women when we
Are
speak,
empowered.
when we are empowered.
Yeah.
So when I tell someone, oh yeah, I own 2 businesses,
Right.
and another woman or girl hears me say that helps them flex a little bit more to speak confidently about who they are and what they are and what they represent and what they want, and what they do. So it's for you, definitely, because your self-worth, but it's also a benefit to all of us to hear
gift.
you, to get your gift, to hear you, to hear what you have to say, to respond. And I think, kind of to what you were saying before, it is a gift for you to even tell someone something that annoys you.
Yeah, it is.
You are now giving me
Information.
honest information, and I am in a position to respond and give you feedback and
Honestly,
change
and
my
fully.
behavior, or whatever is appropriate.
Yeah. Also
but-
think about I guess we can kind of wrap with this. Dominique and I are authors, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the places that I'm often like, yeah, I just wrote a
Right.
book. Yeah, it's just
Right.
not. Anyway, no.
Right.
Like I have a published book. Dominique has a published book. That's a big deal. And that's one of the places I know I struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of owning that.
And I think what you just illustrated too is that you could use the word just. It could be in your tone. You could use other words,
Yeah,
but the
tone.
point is that we want you to not discount what you're saying, not discount your perspective, not discount who you are.
And today the way to do that is to practice eliminating just. I'll
Right.
also throw an only.
Right.
Both of those are kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
So button negates, get rid of it, replace it with and eliminate just.
Yes. We love y'all.
We love
teach
y'all.
love.